Life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better it gets. The adventure of life is to learn, and the nature of life is to change. We're here to witness yet another change in a great person's life who absolutely needs no introduction because he is a great man, and great people are known and need no introduction. He is an engineer by profession and has served here in Kuwait for the past 2 decades. He also owns and runs a school back in India and is also involved in agro farming. He is a great example for the upcoming youth. And at that note, I would want to quote a saying: being inspired is great, but being an inspiration is an honor. And I take privilege in introducing such a great person. You might have already guessed who I'm talking about. Yes, it is none other than the great man, Mr. LakshmiNarayanan Sir. Welcome, sir.
Very good.
Thanks. Thank you so much for your time. It means a lot, sir. So, to start off, you may tell a few words about yourself to our viewers.
Okay.
So it's wonderful to meet this young, talented girl who is part of this Kuwait community. And it's a privilege for me to give her an interview. And before I start off with what we are going to talk, let me give you a small insight into what I am. I am basically a mechanical engineer by profession from College of Engineering, Guindy. Completed way back in 1986. Then started off working in a fertilizer company called SPIC from 86 to 94. Moved to Kuwait in 1994 as an engineer in Kuwait National Petroleum Company, because Kuwait, after liberation in 92, they were into the mode of reviving back all the refineries to their 100% load. And I started to work in Min Abdullah refinery since then, and it is now almost 29 years. Moved up the cadre in the refinery, and today I work for the Quality Assurance Department of Kuwait National Petroleum.
So the whole Kuwait sector, oil sector here in Kuwait is celebrating you. So because you proved your professional capabilities, so now we've kept your professional life aside. Now everybody wants to know about you as a person, as a father, as a son, as a husband. So as I was researching about you, your parents are really educated. Both of your parents were holding highly diplomatic positions. So it would have been more easier for you to establish yourself back in India. So why did you choose to start from scratch in abroad?
That's a lovely question which I have to answer myself first. As you rightly put it, yes, I am from a very bureaucratic family. My father started in the government service during the British time, that is pre-independent India. So he was trained in the Staff College Dehradun and Staff College Delhi, and joined as a district employment officer of Madras Presidency. So that is how Tamil Nadu was called in those days. It is 1946. So as a matter of fact, I could have also gone about with my bureaucratic activity. But upon completion of engineering, since I joined in a fertilizer company, from going towards bureaucracy, I was getting more and more involved into the corporate life. So, but corporate life in the first 7-8 years in India did give me a lot of thirst towards trying to excel in a field where I am aware of. So that is one of the reasons I wanted to move into oil and gas. So since I got a break in the early days, and I also got a very plum type of a job in Kuwait, I thought it is better to venture into this activity when I was just 30 years old. That's the reason I moved to Kuwait.
That's great. So that's very well said. So as we're here sitting about success, success as a term is a very subjective term, as everyone has different point of views regarding the term success. So what is your point of view regarding success, sir?
So one of the very main criteria to be really successful is try to live your life in peace and happiness and do your service to society in the best of the activity. That is one thing which I've learned probably because of my familyhood, and that is what I really culture myself to be as success. Of course, professional excellence is part of the game, but in actuality, what is really a success is trying to do something for the society and trying to keep yourself happy.
Very well said, sir. It's very words of wisdom. Every person has their strengths and their weaknesses, and the person who works on their weak points is the person who attains success. So, you've been working for the past 2 decades. So, what are your weak points, sir, that you worked on?
To be very frantically or to be very frankly saying what exactly is a weak point, I look at life in a different angle. I always prefer to work on what is my strength. And that has always been my cult of lifestyle right from the beginning, right from my schooling and my college days. I've always worked on what is my strength because I preferred to be on that way than looking at things in a negative activity. Being positive and being strong and what you are well versed on is always been my success.
Very well said. So optimistic way of thinking. That's a really good thing. So every person wants to live a utopian life with no regrets. So that is actually not possible, frankly speaking, because everybody leaves something behind that they might regret in their life ahead. So what are your experiences regarding that, sir?
See, I was involved in variety of activities over this period of 59 years in life on the earth. So one specific activity in which, if you say that I regret, was not trying to bring Dr. Abdul Kalam to Kuwait. I was deeply involved in trying to bring him to Kuwait, not because to convey some information to the elders, but to the youth of the group over here who are in the various schools in Kuwait. Since that was not possible, I do have a regret for that particular aspect in life.
Okay, sir. So as we know, sir, our nation, India, is progressing at a very high pace now. It The situation right now in India is not how it was like a 2 decades back, how when you and your generation left India to thrive outside. So, but still, right now, the younger generations graduating are willing to settle abroad. So, what is your advice to them, sir?
No, this is really an euphoria of speaking that a big group of people are always leaving India. When you look at the whole scenario of the population of India, we are talking in terms of few lakhs of people leaving the country when the whole population is about 140 crores. I'll just give you a small example of how number of people who are leaving the country and number of people who are doing the activities in India. Today, Indian GDP has moved almost several points from what it was 10 years ago. We have now come to a level where our GDP is almost third or the fourth in the world. It is just not done by the NRIs. It's basically done by the people who are living in India. So the public sector companies, the private sector companies, the various technology companies in India have utilized the talents which is available in India, and we are doing the best. But at the same time, the NRI community, which has moved out of India, has also given a leap of an activity for the Indians back home. So the back office facilities that is being cultivated in India is all because of this NRI community which has moved out of India, probably to the West and also to the Middle East. Today, when I came to Kuwait way back in 1994, we just had about 100,000 Indians in Kuwait. Today it has moved to about a million. And all this is because of some good souls which came here, was able to convince the people in Kuwait that India has got the talents. So it is a movement of that talent from here which has provided an opportunity not only for bringing up the family to a higher level back in India, at the same time moving the whole nation's pride across the world.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. The movement of labor is also the movement of culture.
Exactly.
Very well said, sir.
Exactly.
So, many people are looking up to attaining the amount of success that you have attained in your life, sir. So now when you already attained that success, what is next in your life, sir?
Sir, when I started my professional life, the India where I grew, the India what I look, is far different from India what it is now. So I'll just give you a small example of what it was India when we left the college in 1986 and entering into a professional field. So within 3 or 4 years of that time, India was in a grave situation where we had to sell gold to meet our requirements towards the World Bank and the IMF. But today, India has built up almost $550 billion of available surplus funds with us. It's all because of the beautiful work done by the people over these years. So when you look at this particular scenario, it is basically the improvement in the educational standard, the improvement in the technology, the improvement in the overall category of lifestyle that India has produced. We have moved to a great level of capitalistic approach. We have also built a beautiful democracy. All this success is all because of the total relationship between all these interactions and what has made us all proud.
So, personally, I know many people who are struggling to manage their personal, professional, and social life. Now, you have been managing it so well for a very long time. So any tips regarding that, sir?
No, this is also a very interesting question which many people have asked me. I would rather say put it out in a different fashion. Okay. Probably I was blessed with a family background, and I was also blessed with a beautiful family which was very supportive of what I was able to do. Right from my college days, and then later on when I became a family man, which I became pretty early in life, because I had to venture to be a family man when I was less than 25 years old.
Oh.
So right from that particular age, since we had a better understanding of what is life, and since my wife was also a very educated lady, and she's also from a background from the agricultural granaries of Tanjavur, so she did provide me a lot of strength. So our kids' upbringing, she had a better understanding of it, and even though I was only a slight catalyst, but I was more involved in my professional life, my social activities, and also I did have a very big sporting life until my 50th year. Thanks to probably the good blessings, and thanks to my wife in specific, I would rather say.
So we know, sir, you've administered a lot of associations here in Kuwait. So you must have came across a lot of political dramas. So anything regarding that, sir?
Okay, so after a few years of coming to Kuwait, we were involved in an association called as Tamil Nadu Engineers Forum. It was started in the year 2000, and then today it is the 23rd year of its existence. So the whole concept of having this forum was to ensure that there is a friendship being created among the Tamil community of engineers, not only for themselves, for upbringing their own professional skills, but also creating a situation where the families interlink. At the same time, we started to have various other associations, but each of these associations have their own strengths. So here, politics is part and parcel of life. Today, one of the best way of governance is democracy. Since as Indians, we have rejoiced the democracy, and since as also Indians, one of the biggest propellant of a lively democracy, educational background, trying to understand people, trying to give up, at the same time trying to adjust. So these type of interactive behavior of a human being does provide all the opportunity to ensure that politics that is being around you doesn't go in a bad way, but to provide an opportunity where everybody has a space to grow. Today, every cultural association in Kuwait has grown, and it has been of a positive nature, because the next generation of kids, they had an opportunity to know what is organization, what is interpersonal relationship, and what is to live in a society.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. As we're talking about family, behind every successful man, there is a prayerful and hardworking woman, and not just a woman, or else every married man would be successful. With your due permission, sir, I would want to call upon your soulmate, your backbone, your wife, Mrs. Sathya LakshmiNarayanan.
Okay. So you want me to talk about her, or what is that you want?
I would want to call her.
Okay.
So the family is a very important part of everyone's life. So, sir, how much of it did affect you, and how much did it help you in every aspect of your life, sir?
In my particular life, if you ask me how much of input I got from my family, I would rather say it's not 100%, it's 200%. Because one of the very vital aspect of living in Kuwait was trying to have some type of a transportation for each of you. So what is very, very important for me was I was very mobile since I had my car and my driving license. My kids were growing up because when we came here, our son was hardly 4 years old. Then we had our daughter, and both of them started to attend Delhi Public School. At the same time, you know how the Indian curriculum is. It is just not limited to academics. We had to concentrate on other activities. At that particular moment, I would rather say my wife came to my rescue. And she was preparing herself. Since she already knew driving in India, she attended a driving school here, took up driving, and then that is history. Because at one particular moment, I was involved in Tamil Nadu Engineers Forum. I was involved in Kuwait cricket teams. I was also involved in another association called Frontliners. Then later on, I was involved in Pungu Tamil Mandram. I had a little bit of involvement in Kuwait Tamil Changam. So variety of activities are going on. In the meanwhile, I was quite often getting involved into embassy activities because there were a lot of workers which were facing some type of a trouble or the other. So at this particular moment, to ensure that kids are not deprived of what they have to get, I would always give the fullest credit to my wife Sathya, who was giving me such a level of helping hand that what LakshmiNarayanan could do today was highly credited to Sathya getting involved into ensuring that children are not deprived of any of their needs.
Very well said, sir. Now, I would want to ask ma'am, your journey with Kuwait, it's been 3 decades now, right? You came to Kuwait, so your journey with Kuwait.
It was truly an incredible journey at Kuwait for me. I came with no friends here. Coming from a close-knit family, I was at loss. But having gathered whomever I met a lot of wonderful people and became friends with. And then afterwards, my life went on, as my husband said, taking my children for co-curricular activities and driving them for other extra classes. I had beautiful life in Kuwait.
So there was a time where
I was supporting my family for in that, and moreover, I enjoyed my life with my friends who were extended family for me. I was taking my kids to Balavikas when they were very young, and afterwards, my daughter was learning tennis, Bharatanatyam, Hindustani, Carnatic. My son also learned karate and other martial arts. I was helping my husband in supporting him by doing all this extra work. And of course, I do the grocery and vegetable shopping also. So I didn't trouble him much to take care of the house as he was busy with his cricket and association works and of course KNPC work also. That much support I was able to give him.
now one of the important aspects is she had to drive 30 to 40 kilometers between each of these classes. So that gave me a lot of extra time so that I could concentrate on societal activities. Because on some occasions, to take care of some workers' requirement, we had to go as far as Jahara or sometimes even to Wafra. So these activities could be done only because of the free time I was able to get since she was able to take care of the kids.
So you have lovely 2 kids, so it would be lovely to know about them, what they do and how they are.
Probably that is one of the biggest self-achievement of me. Thanks to Sathya for bringing up those kids to be absolutely adorable. Our son, who is the eldest, his name is Varun Chand. He studied his schooling at Kuwait at Delhi Public School. Then later on he went on to study his mechanical engineering at College of Engineering, Guindy, Anna University, Chennai. And then subsequently he went did his MBA at Canada, at IV, Canada. And now he works for a pharmaceutical company as a head of material management. Our daughter, she too did her schooling completely in Delhi Public School, Kuwait, and then she moved on to do her architecture, and now she is satisfactorily and very happily involved in an area of architecture where she is into town planning with an environmental friendly activity which is close to her heart. So these are the two kids. Both of them are married. They are well settled in life. Probably my wife can add something more.
I have a son and daughter. We are really proud of them. We feel they have achieved. My son, after doing MBA, he always sees to that he guides his sister what course to take, how to go about in life. He reads lots of books and is keenly interested in writing, mostly about sports and a few other subjects. And daughter is very interested in sketching various historical buildings, and whatever she sees is appealing for her. They have achieved both academically and co-curricularly also. So we are very happy and proud about it.
So now, after living here for 3 decades, as a family, you're moving back to your motherland. So, as a family, what is the future plan for the whole entire family?
So I was talking to you about moving out of professional life and starting school for a satisfaction of your personal goal. I always had another very big interest in my life, which was to do something in the agricultural field. It was mainly due to the fact that I was hailing from Tanjavur, the granary of South India. That particular aspect was deeply moving me towards the agro farming area. So we started investing our time and energy to get involved into agricultural activities. So when we started this by a learning cycle, we were in a very, very primitive way of doing agriculturing. We started at around 750 kilograms of paddy in about an acre of land. Today, we have moved to a level where we are able to produce around 1,800 to 1,900 kilograms of paddy in 1 acre. So I want to get involved more and more into agro farming areas. So this, I feel, is going to give me a lot of satisfaction. I want to venture into an area where I am in a position to produce 2,500 kilograms of paddy in an acre of land. The second portion is I am also deeply involved into doing minimum utilization of fertilizer, maximizing production of these crops. So in this, I am trying to tie up with the local people over there, and we have now to an extent achieved something. But being in Kuwait and trying to do some activities back home was difficult. So probably after the next few months, when I'm totally going to be in India, I would definitely have a concentrated time to improve this particular skill, and that is going to give me a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, coming from a big family and a close-knit family with lots of siblings, I'm truly looking forward to go and settle back with all my siblings and my mom, who is still who is running 96 years. That's the only thing which speeded up for us to go and settle back in India. Moreover, coming from my background is also agricultural background, as my father was owning more than 100 acres of land and having 2-3 rice mills. So I could definitely support my husband in his agriculture. More than him, I like to have cows and goats and also poultry farming. I'm keenly interested in that also. Let's see how it goes by.
So, as a couple, it's universal that arguments and quarrels happen. So, it's really interesting to know about it as an elderly couple. The world wants to know with due respect. uh, how often do you argue, and who takes the first initiative to, patch up again?
That's one more very interesting stuff. See, I think in the initial stage, I was telling you that I got married when I was 24 and a half, and she was much younger to me at that particular time. So we would rather say that we are not absolutely an 100% ideal couple, but more than 95 to 99% we are an ideal couple because our families were similar in nature, both large and also from Tanjavur background. So what was plus in both of us was being the last kid of the family, we had seen the elders how they have interacted in their life. So we learnt from that particular aspect of life. And when we became parents, and I think I became a father when I was not even 25 years old. So it gave us a situation where we had to really understand each other in a better form so that our siblings, our kids, do not face any type of a negative impact. So on that particular aspect, we had a wonderful life in the last 34 years. Not that we never had any type of an argument with this aspect, but I would rather give more credit to my wife because her strength was patience. So there was hardly a time where we could have a bigger level of an argument. But even when there was a bigger level of an argument, each of us we were able to reconcile at a faster pace because our life and goal were all centered towards the children's upbringing so that they are in a modest lifestyle to ensure that longevity of having a good parentage was important. So we always maintained that type of a life at home. We had to do a lot of sacrifices in this matter. We never ventured into going out for situations where we had to go for some type of a movies which were highly related towards the kids. So in that way, in every aspect, we were concentrating on the children being taken to some type of a theme park. Evening situations, we used to take them to, I think many a times we have gone to the British Library, which was in Kuwait. We spent some good level of half a day or even 3/4 of a day to be sitting there with both the kids. And Satya had a very good level of patience where she would read the stories for both the kids for hours together. And probably both of them are involved into academics. I think I will give the full credit to my wife Satya.
Yeah, when it comes to difference of opinion, I feel I depend mostly on my husband's guidance, for he's well matured and he guides us very well. So mostly we get along well. It's very rarely we have difference of opinion. Those cases we learn to live with difference, but we argue and come to a consensus and we take the best solution possible. Mostly according to me, we are quite lucky and we get along very well. That would be my answer for your question.
Quite true about it. That's true. As a matter of fact, both our families, I was born after 6 daughters. She's born after 5 daughters and 4 elder brothers. So all of them, they really talk that this particular couple is quite ideal.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your words of wisdom. It was lovely listening to your point of view about life. We're here to talk about retirement. Retirement is a lovely phase of life as it's an end of a chapter and the beginning of a new lovely chapter in life. Leaving behind workspace is a bittersweet experience as you look behind the memories of your professional life. Anyhow, we didn't expect this time to come so soon, sir. Thank you so much for having this lovely conversation with us. It was lovely knowing your point of view regarding life, success, and professional life. And I am sure your words of wisdom would have helped a lot of people out there. And anyhow, a person like you who has worked hard for the past 3, 4 decades, I know cannot sit idle at home. So you have a lot of future plans regarding agriculture, school, and social works. I know you won't sit idle. Anyhow, you're just going to keep yourself away from a workplace, from an ideal workplace. So it was lovely speaking to you, sir. Thanks to technology, distance is not a big deal now because everyone is just a phone call away. So, having connections is not a big deal now. And once again, thank you so much for your lovely words, sir. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
So thank you very much for your time. And it was wonderful that I was able to share some of the deep things which were involved in my life. And important about this particular aspect is sharing of what you have learned, so that if one or two people get stimulated by what you have done, if that can give them a progress, I'd be more than happy. And once again, I thank you for interviewing me and permitting me to give you a view of what I had observed life is and success is. Very, very kind of you. I just wish you and bless you to have a great life in
Thank you
future.
so much, sir. Getting a blessing from a person like you is an honor to me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.